Alright, yo, what's good with y'all, man? Today, I'm showing you guys how to make some melodic vocal samples like the second beat in the Drake What Did I Miss song. Everybody loves that second beat. Everybody loves those vocals. So in today's video, I'm going to try my best to show you guys how to make melodic samples like that. So man, without further ado, let's get straight to it. Alright, so here in front of me, you can see I have the entire FOP. We got the melodic part, like the sample, the melody, then you have the vocals, and then last but not least, you have the drums, which is the easiest part. So I'm breaking this down into three sections: the melodies, the vocals, and the drums. Starting off with the melodic part, the melody, it was pretty simple. I have pretty much the exact same chords that they used. Maybe I changed them a tiny bit, but it's pretty much the same foundation, same mood. So out of the three, here's the first layer that I started with. And you can see it's pretty much the exact same chords, the same foundation, same mood. Maybe I changed a little bit on this top line, but it's pretty much the same thing. And that's it. It's pretty much these two chords just going back and forth. Now, the most important part for this sample, in my opinion, is sound selection, 100%. It's not too difficult, but you got to get the right sounds to really set this mood and this tone like they did in that song. So for this sound, I use Analog Lab, which I feel like is a really trustworthy source for these type of like classic synth type of sounds. You just go into the Explore instruments, and I really recommend going to the June 6 or Jupe 8. And these both have a lot of those nice warm synth sounds, like the one I use here, classic June keys. Now I did tweak it a little bit. If you go in here, all I did is I added some delay and I added some reverb to the sound. As far as the effects on the mixer, I wanted to kind of smoothen down the sound. I didn't want to have too many high ends because in the song, a lot of the synths that are playing are very warm and soft. So I just kind of soothe out the high end just by literally creating this little slope right here, and then just a very simple delay that I tucked in the background. It's not too upfront, it's kind of quiet. And then basically for the next two sounds, I copied the exact same MIDI. For this one, I just took down the low end, I just brought it up an octave, the bass notes, and I used Omnisphere. Now Omnisphere, in my opinion, is the best spot to go for almost any sound. It's my favorite VST, but I feel like it has a lot of those good classic synth sounds that you would go for. So this is a custom preset that I made just for this video, but it's pretty simple to replicate. You just go to a default patch, you go into A, and you select your own sample, and here you have a bunch of raw samples, just little one shots that they use to make these presets. I went to synthesizers, the Roland Juno 60, and then I picked a couple presets that are pretty nice, but this was the best one, Juno 60 Dark Pad Fast. And as you can tell, it's kind of the same sound, just way more soft, way more warm, and there's absolutely like no high end in this sound. And I threw no effects on here, I just left it like that. I think the effects that I added were in Omnisphere itself. I just added this regular BPM delay, just like last sound. Didn't want it to be so dry and boring. So just a little delay just does the trick, and I just threw it inside of Omnisphere. The final sound was to mainly complement this pad that I just played. It was another Omnisphere, and again, I went into one of the raw presets, and I chose this Iceland. Now, even though the album is supposed to be called Iceman, I did not pick this preset on purpose. Now, even though I turned it up so you guys could hear it, in reality, for the sample, I turned it all the way down. And I wanted this to just be like a little high-end, little like texture to complement the pad that I played previously. But like I said, I just panned this one a little bit to the right, and I panned the first sound a little bit to the left, just so you have one sound on the left, one sound on the right, and then one sound in the middle. A pretty easy trick I like to do in my samples, just to get a more full, wide stereo sound. Now moving on to the vocals, I'm gonna explain how to record them, write them, the arrangement, because I did chop them up a ton. And then last but not least, the most important part you guys want to see is the effects that I threw on these vocals. Here's a quick preview of the sample with the vocals. Hey man, I tried my best. I'm not the best with vocals yet, but I tried my best to replicate the effects, the sound of it, just the texture, how it sounds like it's in a room. The first part when it comes to the vocals, like I said, writing and recording them. So I'm gonna have to actually go into a different FOP because these are a different vocal at a different sample. Here's how the original vocal sample sounds like. Alright, so we have switched over to the FOP with the original vocals. Alright, so I basically did 3 things when it came to this vocal, and I'm gonna try to break it down as easy as possible so you guys can replicate the same thing. The first thing is recording and writing the vocals. So as far as recording, I definitely knew I needed to do some vari speed. It's a really good technique to create that Drake vocal, like the Nico Baran vocals. So here I have the original vocal take, and if I click on here and I do Control E to open up Edison, you can see that the original tempo is 90. Now right now we're at 135, so that means I recorded these at 90 and I sped it all the way back up to 135. Before we get into the effects, I gotta break down the effects that I use on my vocal while recording. So while I record the vocal, I have very basic auto tune. This is a free auto tune you could use, M auto pitch. I obviously select the key and then I turn the speed down a lot. A little bit of reverb and then just an EQ, cleaning the vocal a tiny bit. Usually my voice has a lot of low end, or just my recordings have a lot of low end, so I like to lower it a little bit and then do a lot more effects after recording the vocal. As you can see, I got a lot more here. But now moving on to the processing, after I recorded the vocal, I have M auto pitch again, but this time I don't have any auto tune. I just have a format shifter. It's basically changing kind of like the pitch of the vocal, but it's not changing the pitch. It just makes it sound a lot more like deeper. Very simple EQ, just kind of taking out the low end, cleaning up some harsh frequencies that were really loud, and then Valhalla room. So you can really use any reverb, but the whole objective of the reverb is to make it sound like it's in a room. A pretty short decay, and this is just a custom preset I made. You guys can copy it if you want. Valhalla delay, just 9%, so it's tucked in the background a lot. Like a cool little echo effect, just so it's not so dry, but like I said, very little. Cutting off a little bit of the high end, and then another EQ, just cleaning it up a little bit. And last but not least, a compressor, controlling all the levels so there's no high peaks in the vocal. Alright, so now we're back into the original FOP, and now we're gonna finish off the vocals. So like I said, I extracted the vocal from the sample, and then as you could clearly see, I chopped a lot of it to kind of fit this BPM, this tempo. Now as far as the effects, I added kind of the same effects on the previous vocal, just a little bit more of a simpler version. Added Valhalla plate, which is another great effect to get that room reverb. As you can see, I have it on 100%. I have extremely low delay, decay. I turn the size down, the width down. Here's actually the preset name. I didn't even realize I chose the preset, but I wanted to just have a little delay. As you can see, it's 13%, and I felt like I wanted a very specific sound with the delay, so I automated it because I wanted it to come in certain sections, which I wanted it to come in around the end and also when the vocal stops. Those are all the changes I did on it, and then I automated it to sound like this. And other than that, it was pretty simple. Next, just a compressor. I compressed the shit out of this. Last but not least, a little EQ, just cleaning up the sample, just giving a little more emphasis on certain frequencies. And then I messed with some format shift, but I didn't really like it. I just left it raw. And then yeah, these are all the effects I used. The main effects is the Valhalla plate and the delay. But anyways, yeah, that was it for the vocal. Now moving on to the easiest part, was basically the drum. Just because I want to see how it sounded, I completely ripped off the drums, I'm gonna be honest. I took the instrumental and I extracted the drums, and I literally just chopped it so I had the one shot of like the hi-hat, the snare, and the kick. And I just replicated the same pattern, and I did the same pattern again but with my own drums on here, and then I kind of just layered both of them. Kind of a weird, I don't even know what I'm doing, the weird technique. But I like how it sounded, and this is the drums. And then I exported that, I pitched it down 200 cents, and then this was the final beat, the final product. So yeah, I don't know. Y'all let me know in the comments, what do you prefer more? The original pitch, which is the same pitch as the song, or pitched down, which I felt like the vocals sounded a little better. Anyways, man, I hope you guys did enjoy and learn something new. If you guys did, make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think of this video. Any other tips you guys have for me or for anyone else watching on making these vocals. Yeah, hope you guys did enjoy, and I'll see you guys in the next video. I know your love's my soul, you did.